So
Okay.
I kind of want to talk about maybe some options here, like,
Sure.
because I know you talked about being a firefighter,
Yeah.
forest firefighter, which is a pretty intense job, to
Yes.
trail work, and then hopefully we can find someone maybe that just likes to work with people that can find this seasonal
Hmm.
work, and so they can have an idea. So, and the personality traits that would work with that, so they can
Yeah.
know if they're the type of person that would want this.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different types. A lot of if you're really into just getting your hours in and working really hard for a short season and then taking time off, I think fire is a really good. It is a good option. Typically, fire crews. Um, it's a little unknown. The way they make so much money is they get on fires and they'll work 14 days in a row, working a 16-hour day, 14 days in a row. So you accrue an incredible amount of overtime. Now, firefighters' pay usually isn't that great hourly, but the thing is that on a 2-week paycheck, they might get 120 hours of overtime. And then when you're fighting a fire, you also get what's called hazard pay, which is because of the smoke and different hazards to your job environment. That the government pays you what's called hazard pay, which is another 25% on top of whatever your base wage is. So basically, firefighters make really good money on whenever there are fires. When there aren't fires, like the season where where it's just not a very good fire season, they're gonna sit around a lot and just kind of do busy work, and you're just gonna be making like a base, like maybe $9 an hour or $10 an hour, kind of a lower
Hmm.
wage. So it's kind of a gamble. If it's a good fire season, you're gonna make an incredible amount of money. I mean, I've heard of firefighters working 6 months and making $50,000 to $60,000, no problem.
Really,
Sometimes even more.
and then they get the next 6 months.
And then they get 6 months off.
Six
Yeah.
months off of this. This also paid.
Yeah,
Six
and
months
this
off.
also can be unemployed because unemployment insurance can be collected because they're seasonally laid off.
Would it be connected
Yeah.
to the amount of pay they made in those 6 months too?
Yeah,
So they
it
make a
would be.
lot.
Yeah, they do really well in their unemployment.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they do really well. So, yeah, if it's a good, a lot of times California, for instance, usually, typically burns a lot due to the dry nature and all
Yeah.
the houses being built in, the middle of the forest. And so typically a lot of fires there. And those firefighters, it can make incredible amounts of money in 6 months. But, the catch-22 with that is that you're working 14 days on, 16-hour days, digging line, hiking miles and miles every day with a heavy pack, breathing in smoke all the time, sleeping in a tent every day, working in really hazardous conditions, putting your life on the line. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to think about. So if that's something that fits your personality, where you're down to get out there, put your life on the line, work really hard in rough conditions for long hours of time and not get burnt out, then I think fire is a great option, definitely, and you're going to make some really good money. But if you're someone who's not as into that kind of thing, then another option would be trail work, which is a little bit different. The work is still hard. You're still working outside most of the time, which means you are going to be working in conditions where it's cold, where it's raining, where it could be snowing, where it could be really hot, and that kind of stuff. So adverse weather conditions, but you're working a 4-day-a-week schedule, or if you're in the backcountry, typically it's in 8 days in a row and then 6 days off in a row. So you're working 40-hour weeks, which are much more normal, like what you'd be accustomed to in the private sector, or even a little less.